Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Rise and shine. Although it is 9:30 almost. So most people are probably up and they've risen and they're shining and they probably already hit their snooze button like 30,000 times already. If they're not like up. But how are you guys doing? Tis another beautiful day in Zamunda. All right, it is Q&A day. We're going to talk about some designing within Silhouette Studio. Any troubleshooting questions you have in regards to Silhouette Studio, that is what today's live Q&A is on. I will do a lot, to kind of get you guys started. One of the questions that I have been asked is about awareness ribbons, because one of the biggest ones that people talk about the most is October into Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and people want to make designs for that. So I'm going to show you guys how to trace one of those and add different elements to it and things like that. But as always, this is an open Q&A. So the information that is presented and what you guys learn is dependent on you. And how great of a question, you ask. You kind of get in there. You want some real detail. If time permits, I'm able to show that. So you can possibly get like a little mini class. But that is all on you guys and the questions that you ask in regards to Silhouette Studio and designing within the program. All right. So if you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell if you are watching over on YouTube, or just head on over to the YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow our Facebook platform, Silaholics Anonymous. If you are watching from one of my regular pages, such as Shaquille Lavelle Pericles, be sure to head on over to Silaholics Anonymous, that company name right above my head. You're going to go there and make sure that you like, follow, also head to our YouTube channel and subscribe. All right. So I see you guys are rolling in. Those numbers are going up. Be sure to also share this video out, guys. You never know who wants to learn how to build generational wealth by taking their business into their hands and being able to design and provide customized products and personalized products as well. So be sure to share excuse me, the video out. All right. So good morning. I see that the numbers are going up. You guys are trickling in. Thank you for having your notifications on. We are going to get started in just 30 seconds. Oh no, it was still up. I thought I got rid of that. There we go. Hello, everybody. I am Shakia, the professor of Silaholics Anonymous and the product line, Honestly Speaking. I do live videos such as this to teach you guys how to use Silhouette Studio. Whenever I am on this platform and whenever you guys see the purple, teal, blue, and black, you know that that is a Silhouette related video or live. If you ever see the signature colors of our product line, the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, you know that that is a general kind of summation, t-shirt, like all sorts of things like that, business related questions. But whenever we are live on the Silaholics Anonymous platforms, it is for Silhouette Studio. Silhouette Studio is the design program for the silhouette cutting machines. However, you don't have to use the silhouette cutting machines you don't have to have a machine in order to use the program. The base program is completely free, so you can learn to design. It's a great kind of like gateway program to get into graphic designing, or just being able to do custom layouts, because not everyone can be a graphic designer. It takes a lot to kind of learn all those tools and put all those things together, but maybe you will be able to use that to be able to lay out different images and graphics that you've purchased, and you can lay them out, combine them with some text that you can type in the system and create some amazing work. So that's what I am here for, to teach you how to use this program, to prepare you for other programs should you decide to invest in those in the future. Like me, I use Photoshop, Illustrator, and I just recently got Corel Draw again. I'm not big on Affinity, but it's kind of sort of the same thing with a little bit of difference. All right. So I do these, like I said, I do these videos to help you guys. Maybe you can't attend one of my classes right now, and I completely understand that, but I am still here to help. So take advantage of these live Q&As when I am on. The live Q&As only stay up for a short period of time now because I do them so often. And a lot of the times it is the same type of questions, or even if it's like one design, it can be like the same technique but with a different image. So these videos are only up for a short period of time, so make sure that you head on over to YouTube and you check them out before they are all gone, like before it's gone. All right. Today's broadcast is brought to you, as always, by the letters HSINK and by the numbers 3, 6, and 5. That is the letters and numbers of our product line, honestly speaking, or HS Inc. 365 represents the fact that, unlike anything that has been on the market, we were the ones to bring it to you that you can sublimate at as low as 365 degrees. That's what we advertise at because it sounds great, right? But on my Hotronics, I can actually sub at 360 for 20 to 25 seconds. I've even subbed on an Easy Press at 350 degrees because the original Easy Press, that's as high as it goes. So 350 degrees as fast as 30 seconds is about average for most people. So we are known as Team 365 or HS Inc. 365. So if you have not checked out our amazing INKCREDIBLE products, be sure to head on over to shop.silaholics.anonymous.com. That again is shop.silaholics.anonymous.com. The web address is going across the bottom of the screen, but there are direct links in the description of each and every video. Hopefully this time they are working because before they were not. Just in case, I will go ahead and drop that in the comment section of the broadcast. All right. But check out our website, shop.silaholics.anonymous.com. All orders that are placed before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time go out the exact same day. If your order is placed after that, Monday through Friday, it just goes out the next day. Orders placed before 11 a.m. on Saturday, as long as it's USPS, go out on Saturday. Any orders after 3 p.m. on Friday and you choose UPS, which is the more reliable one, do not go out until the following Monday or following business day if there's a holiday and UPS is closed down. But again, that is shop.silaholics.anonymous.com for your sublimation paper, your sublimation ink, pigment ink, pre-fill cartridges, which makes setting up your printers so easy. If you have had an Epson 7710, 7720, 7210, 7110, 76, this, for years, and you don't have a chip resetter, if nothing else, make sure you head on over to that website and get yourself a chip resetter. It will change your life. All right. So I have talked enough, but I don't see any questions in the comment section. So that means y'all don't need any help today. That's what that tells me. That means I have done such a great job over the past 7 years in answering questions and putting out amazing content. That means that you guys don't have any questions for me. You know Silhouette Studio now, right? Is that what that means? So that means we're just going to hang out here because y'all have no silhouette questions. You are more than welcome to start posting your silhouette questions in the comment section right now. You don't have to wait until one question is answered before you ask yours. I go back through them and find, and try to go in order. Try to be as detailed as possible when you are posting your questions in on the feed, so that I don't have to kind of go back and say, okay, well, what's like this. So try to be as detailed as possible. That makes it a lot easier to get your question answered, like without a break and me kind of having to look at another question or a long silence in between. Okay. But yeah, we are here. I always stay on. Well, I've stayed on before, but now the goal is to stay on no more than 45 minutes to an hour. Maybe even we'll start to cut that back and maybe do just 30-minute sessions. So we will see. But how long this session is, whether it's 45 minutes or an hour, depends on you guys and the questions that you guys ask. I do have, like I said, I do have a little something we're going to go over today as far as learning how to do awareness ribbons. But that can't be the only thing. So the questions have to roll in. That way, when I'm done with the awareness ribbon tutorial, you guys, I can go on to the next questions. All right. Okay, so I do see a question here. It's not about silhouette, but because I mentioned them, I will answer this question. So Marilyn asked, does the chip resetter reset ink levels? So it resets the status of it and like basically the ink levels as the printer sees it. I have very detailed videos going over that in the fact that the printers do not know how much ink is physically in the cartridge. This can be empty. If this chip is reset to full, it will read full on the printer, although there is no ink in the cartridge. So yes, the chip resetter is to reset the status and the level on the printer. I love the chip resetter, game changer. I don't know the program. When is the next class? I have classes pretty much all the time. If you are a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate member, we have classes every single month going over different things. So that's the best way to learn. As far as especially if you are a beginner, my a la carte classes are going to not necessarily, I'm not going to say they're going to be not beginner friendly, but we're not going to go and kind of break down like the basics. My Essentials to Silhouette Studio, that is the best thing. You don't have to attend a live class. We have amazing classes that have already been recorded. The playbacks are available for you, and you can go through those and take notes, watch them as many times you need. You have lifetime access to them. You can watch them as many times you need, take whatever notes you can. And also our YouTube channel. Like there are tons and tons of videos there if you want to start there before you join our monthly membership program. I have to sneeze again. Whew. Oh man, it's got another one's going to come. Another one's going to come. Another one's going to come. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I think I'm good now. Okay, so Sonia asked, I was trying to do a rhinestone design, just text, and it doesn't seem to look right. That doesn't tell me very much on what happened with it. Was it that there wasn't enough stones? They were scattered? What type of look were you trying to go for? What size were you making the design? Was it something small? Was it something large? There's a lot of things that will affect your rhinestone designs. Give me a little bit more on that and let me know what was going on with it. Shakia, help me. Oh, help me. When I type text, it's always a lot of space, extra space in the box. That is normal. That is how it's supposed to, because most text will have glyphs and a lot of hanging letters, uppercase letters. So when you type out text, it's always going to give you extra space. In order for you to have it be the exact size, you have to convert it to a path. Once you convert it to a path, you will not be able to edit that text anymore. If you want to keep it in text format, you're going to have to create yourself a box for the size that you want and then size it up to that. I'm going to go ahead and head over to Silhouette Studio and show you exactly what I mean by that. Alrighty. So we're going to go here and we're going to type in I'm going to add a little color so we can see this a little bit better. Even if I were to make this like one line, right? And then I click on it. Oops. So this reads 1.117 by 26.156, right? I'm going to make a duplicate of this and I'm going to right click and convert it to path. So now if you see, the height has gone to 0.927, and my width is 25.174. So this is the true size based off of the highest point of any letter and the lowest point, because there are hanging letters here. So that's going from the top to the bottom. This is always going to account for extra space at the top and the bottom whenever you type out text. If you want it to be, let's say, 2 inches, right? So it's all on one line. I'm going to scale this to 2 inches, right? Or as close as I could possibly get it to 2 inches. Okay, there we go. Oops, close enough. I'm going to make a box that is 2 inches in height and place this here. As you can see, it does not fill in that space because of the extra. So if you need to, if you're typing out a bunch of different names, either make a duplicate so that you can go back in and have it still in text mode. And each name, once you have it finalized, or each string of text, once you have it finalized, you're going to convert it to path and then size it up. There we go. So sorry if I froze. So if you want to keep it in text mode, you're going to hold here. The best thing to get it to like move within that box is to hold down Shift and Alt. And you're going to have to keep moving it. But you're just going to make this bigger until it fills it in. And this is really long text because I put it all in one line. There we go. So my text from its highest point to its lowest point is now like, well, actually, this is 2 inches from the top of like these capital letters. If I were to bring this over here, this P, because it is a hanging letter, hangs out of this 2 inches, right? And then, well, let's go back to here. wasn't quite at 2. So the S is one where it has more of a hump to the top and bottom. Look at how much space is between the S and then how much space is between the T and the box and on the top and the bottom. So each letter is different. Even in just, how this looks, each letter is different. So it had like that shows you why it has so much space in between, because these can be, you have to decide what do you want to be 2 inches from the top to the bottom from a certain letter. Because again, if I pull this over here at 2 inches, the lowercase p falls outside of that 2-inch box. So I would have to, if I wanted that within 2 inches, I'm going to have to shrink down all of this to get the P to fit in that 2-inch box so that it is 2 inches from the top of one letter to the bottom of another, which means now on average, I'm going to go ahead and you can convert to path, you can ungroup, you can weld it, you can subtract it from something. All of that will turn it into a path, but the easiest way is just to hit convert to path. So now, if I were to, actually I meant to ungroup, not convert, I meant to ungroup. So now each letter is not going to be 2 inches because we have lowercase. So my P is only 1.5. This one is 1.58. My A is 1.17. So you just have to really design not so much off of the height of actual letters, but once you put your design together, you're going to size that to the size that you need for your substrate. Don't stress so much over the size of actual letters, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Good morning, Professor Best Friend. What would you recommend the minimal graphics card needed to use Silhouette Studio, and how can we identify what we currently have? You mentioned a gaming computer, but I would love to compare. So I'm not your computer guru when it comes to, to that. If I told you, if you're not into computers, you probably wouldn't. Silhouette Studio does recommend that you have at least a clock speed of 2 gigahertz. And you probably don't even know what that means. Well, I don't know if most people probably don't know what that means, but they recommend at least 2 gigahertz. If you can get more than that, then that would be ideal. But Silhouette Studio recommends at least 2 gigahertz. You can have that where that's your max, but I recommend when you're looking for that to be your minimum clock speed for your graphics card. So you can have it to where it's the max, which means like, it'll work if you have one that's like really operating at like 1.8, which is a lot of like average computers will operate in there. But if it's something that it's really, really low, it's not going to work. So either the max clock speed is 2 gigahertz, or you want to get one where it starts like the minimum is at least 2 gigahertz. Okay. And as far as identify, do you have a Mac or PC? Oh, well, I meant to go over here. I'm going to go to my system. Yeah, see mine. So you're going to go to your system, go to about, and it'll say device specifications. And it will tell you like your processor. So you'll have your CPU, which is the first one. And then the second one should be your graphics card. I struggle with how to trace and remove white space when printing. Can you advise or post a link to a video? If you search Silaholics Anonymous, remove white, that video will come up. And that's going to be the best option, well, the best video. So you're going to search Silaholics Anonymous remove white. And why is all this coming up? That's kind of weird. There it's right there. I put remove inner white, but it is this tutorial right here. Don't know why I brought up all of that stuff first, but this is the video right here where I show how to either do a trace and then fill it with color and subtract, and or use, I'm not sure if on this one I show like using the white, not the white, using your trace by color to remove the white. But this is the video right here. I will put it in the description, in the comments, but it is best for you to just search it and look for this one, because once the live video is done, you will not see the live chat for like 24 hours. So I would recommend just searching for it and hit and put in, even if you put remove inner white. That's why I wrote the wrong thing right there. Didn't say white. So let's go remove white, spell white correctly, and that should pop up at the top. Okay. Let's see. And I'm actually going to show, like I said, when I do this, you may get a better idea when I do the awareness ribbon. Okay, I was using SS10 and I just could not recognize word after converting. So that's probably because of the size. So if you're using like an SS10, and depending on the way that the text is, it's going to have to be a certain size in order for you to see it. So let's go back over here and let's just type out HS ink. Next, I'm going to do this one in lowercase. All right, let's just fill this with some color. So if we go over to our rhinestone tool, and actually this is pretty big, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to shrink this down, and I'm going to shrink it down again because 29 is very, very wide. So if you were trying to put HS ink on a shirt and you can only go like 11 inches wide, so we're talking only 2 inches tall. So I'm going to select all of these. I'm just going to go around the edge and I'm going to go SS10. Oh, I completely forget. I need to convert to path on this. Oh, why are you acting crazy right now? So here is a little trick or a little tip for you guys. If it does this, we're going to take these and we're going to go back to here. I'm going to take a box and place it around it. I'm going to convert it. I'm going to make compound path, and then I'm going to release compound path. Delete the box and make this a compound path, and then fill it in again. Oh, it's acting crazy. Why are you doing that? Normally that fix it. Oh, my Silaholics Studio is acting bonkers. Okay, that one is working. But the one for the line is not. All right. Okay, I think Silaholics Studio is about to shut down on me because it's moving rather slow. And yeah, I think it's about to shut down. So I'm going to shut it down and wait for it to reboot because it's acting kind of crazy. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna shut down. I'm even probably better save any of this. Okay. I just think it doesn't like this particular file. So I'm going to close that out. And let's try this again. And this time I'm also even going to go to like a script font. So you can also see how it's going to affect that. So you see how this looks where you can't see anything on it? You can barely see what that says because it's really small. Now, as I make this bigger, now you're able to, well, let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. I'm also going to weld this first for that part. And I'm going to put my 10SS and we're going to make this bigger. So as it gets bigger, then it becomes more legible. Which, why are you acting crazy? I don't know what's going on with Silhouette Studio today. But you can still see, like at 5 inches in height, you can see it. Before, you could not. So it is relative to size and the font that you're using and whether or not you're doing edge or filling it in. Hopefully that helps because my Silhouette Studio is acting straight crazy. I'm just going to shut it down. Discard all. All right, we're going to restart that. And, oh, there are no other questions. Cool beans. So we will go through, when I get this back up and running, I will trace the awareness ribbon and we will be done for today. All right, this is back up and let's bring this over yonder. Okay, so let's take this ribbon for example, and we're going to copy image and paste. And to trace this, ideally, what you would do is just trace it to isolate the colors. So we're going to go to trace, select trace area, place our box around it. It is going to fill in those black areas because that is the best color for Silhouette Studio to trace. Then you're just going to hit trace. Move the original out of the way. And with this one, we're going to fill it with color for now. It looks exactly like this one now, just without the shadow. So to be able to fill this in, we pull this off here, there's no color in it. To be able to fill it with color, you're going to right click and release compound path. There's a couple different ways that this can be used. I'm just going to make a duplicate, okay? You can either take away the background altogether as well as the inside part. And you're left with just this part of the ribbon that you can color in any color you want. Okay. So that's where it'll have a break in it, and it allows you to also put different colors on here also. And if you wanted to split this so that this half of it was the same green, you would just put a box here, like splitting it in the middle. Oops, let's not rotate it. Let's select the box and that middle piece. Go over to modify and divide. Click on here and delete it. And then you can make this one green. So if you wanted to split it for whatever reason. The other way that this can be used is to still have the background. I'm going to change this to a lighter color so that you can see where those lines are. So if you want to still keep the background but change the colors, you're going to click on this middle one. I'm going to make it a different color. So this is what we're clicking on. Hold down Shift and click on the background. I'm going to change the colors of those. So see, now we have this middle piece and the background. You're going to hover your mouse over the middle, right click, and make it a compound path. Right click, send that to the back. Now you have your outline that can be any color. And you can make this whatever. So if I'm going to go here, let's say we make this outside a darker pink or a brighter pink, and then we make our inside a lighter pink. So now this is two colors. All right. Now, if this was, actually, let's see if we can find a ribbon that has color in it. And let's see. That has shadows on it. Okay, this is just simply like, this is a real ribbon, picture of a real ribbon. Let's just do this. So we're going to copy image, bring this over to Silhouette Studio and paste. So let's say I want to use this exact ribbon. I'm going to go to select trace area. I'm going to increase my threshold until all my edges are masked in yellow. And I'm going to go trace and detach. From here, there are two ways that this can be done. Because this is one single area, if you have Designer Edition or above, you can use the trace by color. So we're going to click here, trace by color, fill that in, take your tolerance up and trace and detach. Pull that out. My preferred method, especially when there's multiple areas, is to do another trace. This time you don't have to do everything. You just have to focus on the part that you want to remove. And I'm going to increase my threshold just a little bit to smooth out the edges. And I'm going to go trace. Once you have that trace, you're going to click on just the trace. The fact that this box is really, really big lets me know that the entire ribbon is selected and not just the trace. I'm going to click again. Now that it's a smaller box, I know that I have just the trace. I like to fill it with color because filling with color makes it easier to select items. Then you're going to right click and release compound path. Hold down Shift, click on that middle part and hit delete for everything else. That's only going to leave that middle section or sections if it's something that has multiple areas. Then you're going to select the image and those inner parts, go over to modify and hit subtract. That will also take it out. That is my preferred method of removing the white. She says, wow, so much to silhouette can be challenging because it is a graphic designing program. I understand it is created by a company that, they advertise as just crafting. And a lot of times we think of crafting as being things that are, not so complicated. But at its core, Silhouette Studio is a graphic designing program. So learning all of the techniques and tools is no different than learning Illustrator, Corel Draw, Affinity Designer, which are also vector-based programs, or even designing in Photoshop or Affinity Photo or Procreate on an iPad and things like that. It is still a graphic designing program. So if you want to truly customize things, you're going to have to learn graphic designing. And that is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to take you being in the program and you constantly practicing, trying different techniques, even if you don't need it for an order. Just practice. If you see something on a billboard, you want to try and recreate something on a cereal box, a water bottle, you just see something on television, a flyer, practice how to recreate those things, and that will help you learn the program. Be okay with messing up in the program. Be okay with it not working right the first time, no matter how many videos you watch. It may seem easy when I do it because I've been doing this for years, but it may take you a little minute to get used to where things are, where to click, trying to figure out what you're looking at on your keyboard, what you're clicking on your mouse, what you're touching on your keyboard. Combining all of those things can be a bit overwhelming. But if you spend a little bit of time each and every day practicing just one element of the program, then you will start to understand it. I know that my classes are a lot different than what most people teach. I do offer classes for those who are kind of, they know the program, they just want help with like designing because they're a little bit past like the beginner stage. So I have like regular classes for designing chip bags, banners, memorial designs, tumblers, and just different things. But at the core of my academy, Silaholics Anonymous Academy, or the website, academy.silaholicsAnonymous.com. At the core of that, my goal is to teach you graphic designing skills via Silhouette Studio. And to do that, you cannot just jump in and to do a bunch of different designs, because then you're learning for just that design. You have to take the time to learn how each tool works. When would you like, what's the benefit of these tools, and when would I use them for specific designs? And that is really what I focus on in my academy, is teaching and breaking down those graphic design techniques and really understanding the tools, understanding all the different ways that you can crop, all the different ways when you would use release compound path or make compound path. If this isn't working, what do I do to make it work? So understanding those troubleshooting things. If this is something that you are interested in, it is an investment. You can't go to graphic designing school for just a $20 class. It is an investment if this is something that you want to learn to do. It is perfectly okay if you just want to go to YouTube University and just figure it out piece by piece. You don't really want to learn graphic designing fully. I understand that. Or if you just want to learn how to plug and play and bring in images that are ready made and just arrange them, I can help with that too. But if you are interested in learning graphic design, I highly recommend that you head on over to academy.silaholicsAnonymous.com and enroll in our bachelor's program, which will be for beginners. Once you kind of get get a grasp of that, then you can move on to like our intermediate and then take some of our advanced classes that are like a la carte. They're separate from all of that. Okay. She says, thank you for your tutorials. I'm so used to using my mouth and I'm struggling with the keyboard. There seems to be more options when using the keyboard shortcuts. Any suggestions? I use a Mac. Using your mouse, everything is the same. It is actually very, very redundant in Silhouette Studio. If you take Essentials to Silhouette Studio, I really break that down in explaining the fact that there are just redundancies. There are pictures. There is things that you can right click and then using your keyboard shortcuts. It's all the same. It's just, what are you more comfortable with? for me, with speed of design and being able to do certain things, I prefer keyboard shortcuts because I can do that from anywhere on the screen. Like I don't have to move it to a specific spot and things like that. But if you would like to learn your keyboard shortcuts, we're going to take you there. You're going to go to help and then go to user manual. The very last page of the user manual are the keyboard shortcuts. You can print this out and highlight the ones that you want to focus on and learn and constantly just try to do them. But in the program itself, it also tells you what the keyboard shortcuts are. If you click on File, you'll see all of those keyboard shortcuts. Control N for a new file, Control Shift N for a project, Control O to open, Control Shift O to merge, Control S, or on a Mac, it would be Command S to save, Control P. Under Edit, you also see all of those keyboard shortcuts. We go here, keyboard shortcuts. Under the panel, some things are, well, these don't really have keyboard shortcuts. We go to arrange, you see all of those, align, rotate, modify. So W for that. There's some keyboard shortcuts here. If I just take group, for example, there's a couple different ways. You can right click and choose group. There is an icon up here. So actually, let's select these two things. You can right click and choose group. There is an icon that is up here where you can group. Or you can go over to object, and then there's the word group, but there's also the keyboard shortcut for it. It's a lot of redundancies. So one way is not better than the other. I am one that I prefer keyboard shortcuts and a lot of times using the icons. Like my mom, I've watched a lot of YouTubers and I know my mom, she tends to gravitate to the words. They are learners who prefer to read the word to know exactly what they're clicking on. So it's no right or wrong. It's just what you are comfortable in. I love it. Can't wait to join one of the classes. I have been using for a while now, but every time I watch your videos, I learn something new. I will be enrolling soon. Thank you, Brenda. How do you trace a white portion of a design when Silhouette doesn't pick up white? It all depends on like what it is and where it's at. If it's in the middle of something, you trace around it and then you release compound path. Let me see. What can we search that may have like white in it? Let's see. Teddy bear clip art. I'm trying to find one that has some white. I mean, he has it in his eyes, but that's really, really small. He doesn't have enough contrast because if I try and trace that, y'all will be like, wait, what the heck happened there? Let's see. I need some that has some contrast, but also has some white. Man, I was hoping Teddy Bear would give me some stuff because I figured, okay, they would have like the eyes, the nose, or something. All right. Let's see. All right, let's just type in the word clip art and see what comes up. What can I trace? I always use Mickey. I'm going to come back to him if I have to, but I really don't want to. Ooh, a light bulb. Let's go search Google for image because that one wasn't very clear. Large. Those are not the same light bulbs. Definitely not. Okay, that's a little bit clearer, I guess, but it's also not the same one. All right, let's see. Copy image and paste. Okay. Technically, this isn't white, but you'll still get the idea. So if I wanted this part to be white, we're going to go to trace, select trace area, place our box. I don't care about any of the white areas, or in this case, the yellow. I would just trace here and I'm going to hit trace. Oh, look, she said like a football. Okay. So I'm going to also go back to that real quick and I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to fill this with color. Okay. Just so you can see what's going to happen here. The inside of this should be yellow. The inside of here, white, and this should be black. Right click, release compound path. Because we traced around it, once you fill it in with color, well, once you release, you are able to take those areas and fill them with white now. So you would fill in around it. And even for this middle section, we'll put the yellow in there. See, there's that section. And now this and this becomes black. There we go. And I'll remove the color. But you said a football. So let's search for a Now, if it is something where there is no contrast, that's something where it's going to be a lot harder to show you how to do that because it's going to be multiple traces in order for you to get this white part. I will go through it fairly quickly for something like this because it has multiple parts to it. Or let's just take this one. It's still going to be multiple traces, but not as bad. So I'm going to, let's back up. Let's see. I mean, even with this one, this might be a better one if it was clear. It's not a clear. Nope. Let's see. That's not a clip art. Okay, this one is, so let's go copy image and paste. Perfect, because it came in as a true PNG. If it didn't come in as a true PNG, we're going to right click and we're going to save image as football. And we're going to merge that in or just drag that in. So there's a difference between these two images, right? This just might trace. It's dark enough around it. So I would first, you won't be able to get all this shading and stuff like that in there, but let's just trace the football itself. So we're just going to go like this, right? I'm going to take my threshold up. Oh, actually, this did pretty good where it went all the way around it. Did pretty good with that. So I would take this up, right? I don't see the white. I'm going to hit trace. The part that I won't have is, of course, like these little parts here, or this piece that's going through here. You would have that. It's a more complicated trace for that. But just for this part, you would fill it with color. I'm just going to pick a brown from here, right click, release compound path, hold down shift, click on the brown. That's going to deselect it. In this case, only the white areas are left. I'm going to fill that in with white. So now I have recreated this where I have my white and I have the brown. And then I would do some other stuff to just create the line that goes through here. I would manually do those to create the line that goes through there. But that's how you would trace it to isolate the white. And I didn't have to worry about this one. If it ever is like too close, then you want to put a black box around it so that it will pick up. Like if your white goes all the way to the edge, put a black box around it. That way it picks up on it. And then with that one, you're going to do what's called a reverse trace. We're going to go select trace area, place our box, and you're going to take your threshold and see, this actually allowed me to get some of those lines. So we're going to go like that, and I'm going to go trace, and then I'm going to do it again. But this time I'm going to take my threshold down to where I only have the black. Well, actually, no, this wasn't a reverse trace. This was more of just a double trace. Okay, my box is not big enough, so I'm going to put a bigger box behind it of black. Send it to the back. No line color. Okay. Now I'm going to put my box and take my threshold down to where I only have the black around the ball. And I'm going to go trace. We're going to move the black box, remove. Uh-oh, where happened to my first trace? Well, alrighty then. What happened to my first trace? Okay, that's okay. I'm going to do it again. All right, so like right in there. And trace. All right, so we're going to move this. We're going to move this. This was the first one. That's just the outside. I'm going to release compound path, hold down shift, click on this middle section and delete the rest. That is the outside of my ball that will become brown. Now, this part right here, I'm going to fill it in with white. See, it fills in everything else. Right click, release compound path, hold down shift, click on the white. I want to keep this part this time. So I'm going to just group all of that together, click on the white again and delete. And now I have my ball and I actually have some of the white lines. So it really depends on the image. You have to learn all of the different tracing techniques to know which one you're going to use for different situations. Not every trace is the same. Some of them requires multiple traces. And I mean multiple traces to isolate small parts of it. Some of it, you can get the general idea of it, and then you go in and you would fill in the rest using like your edit points and things like that. Like just like last little bit for this one. If I were to ungroup and I take this and I'm going to take my edit points and bring this up here, kind of fix this a little bit, make it curve a little like it should for a football. I have now created that line that goes through here. I could even do it for right here. If there's supposed to be a line there, I'm going to click in here, bring this down to, let's say, there. I would use my edit points to kind of fix this up a little bit. But see, now I'm creating those lines, which I probably can make that part a little bit wider and fix this. But using your edit points is how you would correct and fix things like this, okay? She says, wow, that totally didn't work for me. That's exactly what I meant. Oh no, just try it again. Like you have to keep trying it, adjusting your threshold a lot and figuring out what's going to be the best trace. Because as you saw, as I move my threshold, there will be times where, you know, it's like kind of spotty and certain colors pick up. So you have to really play around with your threshold so that you can kind of get the best possible results. Okay. Do I offer a class for just tracing? There is no such thing as a one class for just tracing. I do different videos to show basic ones. As you start to move into more advanced ones, it takes more than just one class. Within my academy, we have a tracing class every single month for different things. We've gone over manual tracing, multicolor tracing, reverse tracing. We've gone through a lot of different tracing ones. So that's something that is ongoing, because there's so many different ways to trace. So I don't have one specifically for that, but that might be a series that we consider to where I have maybe like 4 weeks or so where we do nothing but tracing, and have that class available. That's something that I can consider for the next quarter, is to do a tracing class, and you're paying for just tracing. Like we're only going to review tracing. She says, thanks. I'm just gonna sign up for your design class. There will be some changes made as of October 1st. So I will say this, especially if you are a beginner and you want to kind of start on the ground floor. I would highly recommend going over to academy.silaholics.anonymous.com and locking in, which I think the rate right now is like $20 per month, I think, for that. You sign up, it's like $105 to enroll. And then because that gets you access to like a lot of content right now. And then you pay for that include like the 105 is your Essentials to Silhouette Studio, which you'll get access to the refresher, which I'm going to upload today. You will also get access to text effects, and I think that might be it for that one. And once you go in there, you're going to see membership access. You sign up for the monthly, you will have immediate access to all of the live sessions that we have done so far, be able to go in there. Well, no, not under bachelors. I'm moving them. So after Wednesday, you will have access. Well, no, I would say Friday, you will have access to all of the beginner ones. But that's going to lock you into the price for the beginner level. And on that one, it is going to go a little bit slower. It is going to really focus on beginners, give you guys opportunity to ask more questions and share your screens more, because it's going to be a lot of beginners. And then masters will be more of like intermediate, not kind of going back to the basics. So just be mindful when you do go up to the master's program. It's not going to be going over some of that basic stuff that you have access to in essentials and in the bachelor's program. We're going to move a little bit faster under masters. All right. And then for any advanced ones, those are always like a la carte classes, like designing graduation stoles or like designing for something specific. Those are more advanced ones. They're not meant for beginners. Okay. I have several design classes. There is no such thing as like one way to design. I've done design classes for memorial designs. I've done design classes for t-shirts, like printable type shirts, showing the difference between how would you do a design for a print and cut on Jet Pro 3G versus sublimation versus an all over. I've done design classes for banners. I've done design classes for chip bags. I've done design classes for tumblers. I have design classes for a lot of different things because you're going to design different ways depending on what it is that you're trying to design. I've done design classes for graduation stoles. We had 3 levels to that, where one was just understanding text and how to arrange them. The next one was adding some background, adding some pictures. And then we had an advanced design one where we were fading out pictures, creating just different effects and different text effects. So design, I always have different design classes. Going forward, though, my design classes, I will not be going over the basics. Like, you have to have an understanding of the basics. As much as I would like to be able just to take any and all coins, I just don't want people to come into them. I mean, if you want to take them and you want to just practice on your own and be able to go back in and try and figure out those different techniques and try it, you can definitely do that. But in class, I'm not going over, well, okay, this is how, like, the basics of where you go to weld or group, and or breaking down, well, why do you do, how can I say, like, well, where do I go to release compound path? Like, we're not going through that. This is, okay, these are our elements. Okay, you're going to position it here. This is how you would fade this off, how you can arrange it. These are some tips and tricks for different arrangements and things like that. That's how my design classes are going to go, because I can't keep going back to the beginners when I have beginner things. You cannot want to just jump into this and go straight to designing like you are a graphic designer and you have no idea how the program works. So I'm going to try to change that up in the new quarter because it's making design classes, which are supposed to be more for advanced, for those who want to kind of take to the next level. The way I was doing it before was making it slowed down for those who were ready for that. So going forward, design classes won't be kind of like how they were before. They're going to focus on designing and designing techniques. Okay. For my memberships, yes, prices change on Friday, October 1st. You explained everything perfectly. A true gifted teacher will be joining your academy. Thank you guys so much for that. You are locked into whatever level you are on. At that, at that rate, rates are always subject to change, just like anything. Are you locked into your cell phone bill at that price for forever? Your cable bill, it's not like it's going to fluctuate every month, but there may be increases based off of increase of services and things like that, and you will just make a decision on whether or not you want to stay. But nothing really is locked in. Like I said, they increase your light rates, your water rates, your cell phone rates, your car insurance, your house insurance, your taxes. Everything is subjected to change. But as of right now, like that, for the change that will happen on the 1st, you can lock that in to where you won't be affected by that change come the 1st. And if you want to go on the site, all the information for what the current monthly rate is available on our website. So just go to academy.silaholicsAnonymous.com. I'm not going to go over those again. I have videos that have already gone over all the pricing and what is available there now. You can go over there and do the research and decide if you want to sign up before Friday, because again, prices do change on Friday. What do you mean change for supporters as well? I'm not sure what you mean as far as supporters. Because if you're talking about the Facebook supporter one, I've dissolved that a long time ago. If you're already in the program, your prices won't change. But for anyone that's coming in, if you sign up, you're paying that price. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay. You can cancel at any time, and once you cancel, you will have access to certain content still. So what's available in your enrollment, and there will be certain classes that will, like key classes, that will be available to you to be able to go back and watch anytime you want. However, you will not have access to any future classes, any live Zooms and things like that. You won't have access to those, but there will be content such as like the Professor's Design Vault, where I'll have different videos that I've pre-recorded for different designs. So you still will have access. So your investment will not be all in vain, but but you won't have access to a lot of those playbacks, nor will you have access to any future classes. Yes, doctorate has access to everything. That part won't change. Like, you guys have access to the business ones, masters and bachelors already. So that part will not change. You guys will have access. What will change is when I am scheduling the live sessions. Like, if it is a bachelor's level one, it's going to be under that one. And if you attend that class, be prepared for it to move a whole lot slower. If it's an intermediate one, it's going to be placed, like, that live link is going to be placed in there. And understand that anytime I'm doing classes under the masters or, like, basically intermediate level, I'm not going over basic things. We're going to be moving and grooving. That's how that's going to work. But yes, you guys still will have access to all tiers. And if you currently have masters, you will have, like, how can I say it? You will have access to bachelors also, but going forward, they will have, like, separate ones, to where if someone feels like they don't need, like, those beginner classes and they want to just see the intermediate ones, they can sign up and just have that level and not have the beginner ones at all. They would have to, actually, no, masters will include both. The way that it's changing, actually, I said it wrong. I said bachelors. It's actually associates, because I'm moving the way the associates is. So associates is the beginners. Bachelor's is kind of like the intermediate. If you're in masters, you will have access to both. And then doctorate is the business with access to both both levels of design. There we go. I know I said something wrong. That was a bit much. And just speaking with the team, it's still going to be great. It's just not going to be that great. And there's reasoning behind it. So that is going to change. It won't be as high as it is now. I will say that it's still going to be a pretty decent one, but it's not going to be as high. But there's a reason behind that. Okay. All right. I understand. Thank you for that. Again, if you want to kind of lock into the prices that are there now, I would recommend going and sign up before Friday, because as of Friday, the new rate will take effect. Okay. All righty, guys. Thank you guys so very much for joining me today. Don't forget, guys, that we have a website that has amazing products. If you are not a part of Team 365, I don't know what you're waiting on. Today is Tuesday, so we will have a Incredible Today session in about an hour and a half. Well, actually, no, 2 hours. I'm doing it at 12:30 today. So there is an Incredible Today session live. It's on the Honestly Speaking YouTube channel. So be sure to go over there and subscribe so that you don't miss that. But we have a website that has some amazing products. So if you are not a part of Team 365 already, meaning you have purchased some of our amazing sublimation ink, sublimation paper, make sure that you visit the site today to get your sublimation paper and ink. If I will kind of give you a little hint, since you're on right now, if you are someone that uses pigment ink for, like, regular prints, that's what the Incredible deal is. So if you want to wait so that you can get your pigment ink on sale and just kind of combine that with maybe sublimation paper and stuff like that for sublimation stuff, you want to combine it so you save on the shipping, then you'll wait. But today's Incredible deal will be on pigment ink. So that's something to look forward to for the Incredible deal. It's going to be on pigment ink. All right. So visit our site, shop.silaholics.anonymous.com for that Change the Game sublimation paper, Our black ink, sub ink can only produce black because it's black in the bottles. All right. So thank you guys so very much for joining me. Hopefully this live session served you well and you learned some things from it. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell so that you're notified, hopefully, because YouTube acts crazy sometimes. Whenever I release new content or I go live again, make sure that you follow me on Facebook, Silaholics Anonymous, as well as Honestly Speaking. Check out both of our websites, shop.silaholicsanonymous.com and academy.silaholicsanonymous.com. And yeah, I shall talk to you guys later. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.